Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultz and welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you a really fun summer dish that I make. It's a vegetable pie. Yes, it's what it sounds like. You take a blind baked pie crust, allow it to cool, add it with some grilled vegetables, fresh for the season, and go ahead and bake it. Serve it at room temperature, serve it as an entree, or even as a side dish with your favorite meat. Join me now as I show you how easy and flavorful this vegetable pie can be. Well, at this time, I'd like to say thank you very much to the current subscribers. Your support is greatly appreciated. Repeat visitors and first timers, welcome. And if you've not done so and enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel and like the videos. Let's get cooking. Well, to begin, we're going to slice our squash, zucchini, and eggplant. I recommend using a mandolin, and go ahead and just carefully slide it through. The mandolin's going to provide much more consistent cuts and than it will by hand. And it also it's going to be a lot faster. So once we have them sliced, let's go ahead and lay them onto a sheet pan lined with a wire rack. And let's go ahead and gently salt them very lightly and on both sides. The reason we want to salt them is this is going to help pull out excess water and also remove some of the bitterness, especially with the eggplant. The squashes you don't get that much bitterness from, but nonetheless they are packed with lots of water. So go ahead and repeat this slicing and seasoning with the squash and the eggplant. While the eggplant, squash, and zucchini are resting with the salt and extracting the water, let's go ahead and blind bake our pie shell. Follow the normal instruction for your pie dough as if you were baking a custard pie or a fresh fruit pie. Put the pastry or the dough into your pie dish. Go ahead and line it with a parchment paper, weight it down with the pie weights, bake it for 15 minutes, 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 Celsius. Remove it and allow it to cool. Well, now that we have our mise en place, let's introduce you to the stars of the show. Of course, we have our grilled eggplant, squash, and zucchini. I also have some sautéed leek. We have roasted mushrooms, fennel, which was sautéed and then braised with a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc, asparagus tips, some cherry tomatoes, caramelized onion, and fresh spinach sautéed with a little bit of garlic. And we are now ready for assembly. Well, now is a great time to preheat your oven, 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 Celsius, and begin the assembly. I like to start with the eggplant. Doesn't really matter what you start with, but the reason I start with the eggplant is it seems to give me better coverage on the bottom of the pie crust. And what's important for me with this, just like when I'm making, a sandwich or something, I really love to have every ingredient with every bite that you take. So I want to make certain that eggplant is going to completely cover the bottom. So now that I got the eggplant, I'm going to add a little drizzle of my homemade marinara. I'm trying to take more of the tomato pulp and not so much of the liquid, as it tends to separate a little bit. That's enough. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit of my homemade ricotta. I will then add pinch of my homemade herb rub. I will leave the recipe down in the description. Now let's go ahead and let's do spinach next. Make certain to get a lot of that garlic in there too. Gently press down a little. Now I'm gonna go with my squash. Now this one, you could, if you want, go all squash and then the zucchini or whatever, or another vegetable, or you could even alternate them like so. I believe that I'm gonna alternate them and shingling them like this to ensure that we get nice coverage. So to make that task a little easier, I like to grab a few of each and then just alternate hands. Press down a little again. Now again, I'm gonna add a little more tomato sauce. Again with the ricotta. Okay. Decisions. So now, let's go with these mushrooms. The mushrooms, feel free to use any kind. Now let's add some fennel. Now let's add some caramelized onion. Now we still have some vegetables left over. What do you say we just add another layer? Again with some more tomato sauce. Let's go ahead and add a touch more ricotta. Now let's set up our leek. Now let's go with the asparagus. Now let's add Asiago. The Asiago is going to help give nice color to the top of the pie. Kind of help also bind it together a little bit. Where the ricotta won't do that. The ricotta, it'll firm up on you once it cools a little bit after it's cooked or baked. But otherwise, when it's hot from the oven, it's really going to be nice and creamy. So, and now some fresh tomato. Okay. Now finish with a little more of the herb rub, and we are now ready to place it into the oven. Go ahead and bake it 15 minutes or so. All you're looking to do is get everything hot all the way through. The cheese will melt up, and you'll get some nice color on top of the pie. Well, there you have my veggie pie. Absolutely love this dish during the summer. This dish has so much flavor it can stand alone as an entree. Serve it with a soup on the side or even a side salad. Or use this as a side dish with a nice piece of roasted meat or grilled meat. It's fantastic. I will use this dish in a lot of cases where a quiche or a frittata could be used. If I'm just not feeling like an egg dish, I go this direction. Feel free to use any vegetable that you like. And probably the most important thing is maintaining the moisture level. You want to keep it low. Therefore, it doesn't just turn into a soup and get really sloppy on you. I do recommend allowing it to sit for a good 15 minutes at room temperature prior to slicing it. My bake time on it was 18 minutes, and if you notice, the edges just started to turn a little bit. If you are turn darker, if you are concerned about that, feel free to use the trick like when baking pies, is to wrap some aluminum foil around the edges of it. Well, that's all I have. Hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Hope it inspired you to create another avenue for the way you serve your vegetables. I'm sure if you serve it, it'll just be another way for you to wow your guests. Thank you very much for joining. Good.